Dr. Kennedy Wundu, Chairman, FCT Tax Practitioners Association, as well as the Vice Chair, CIT and Abuja, is with me at the table. Welcome, Dr. Wundu, and thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
Your Business and Finance Act 2020. Yeah. An apt topic, is it?
Yep.
You know, because I did notice, like I said earlier, that a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, even some medium businesses, don't really understand what the Finance Act 2020 is all about and what they can also gain from Finance Act 2020 and what they are expected to do from Finance Act 2020. So just give us a brief, make us understand what Finance Act 2020 is about. Okay,
Finance Act 2020, actually, if you look at it, small businesses have little or nothing to benefit there. Because if you're a small business, when your turnover is 25 million and below, so definitely you have no tax to pay. You have no VAT, you have no CIT, you have no education tax. The Finance Act even require that you can't file VAT returns. So in 2020, most of the amendments were for the benefit of big companies. For example, the Finance Act was amended to exclude companies that have 25 million turnover below not to pay education tax. 2020 Finance Act. Then number two, it was also amended to reduce the minimum tax from 0.5% of the turnover to 0.25%.
What is minimum tax?
The minimum tax is that...
minimum tax?
Yes, let me explain you what minimum tax is. If you have operated your business for up to 4 years and above, and you declare a loss, government will not leave you. You pay a minimum tax.
So I've not made money.
Yes, so because some businesses will say today, my business, I made the loss, and they ask me to pay tax. Right? The law requires that if you have operated your business up to 4 years and above, and at a point you made a loss, there must be a minimum tax. And that minimum tax...
So where will I get the tax if I'm...
That's what the law is. That's what the law is. We're going to obey what the law is. If we don't like the law, we have to go back to the National Assembly and say we don't like this law. So the minimum tax stipulates that a business that operated for more than 4 years, if that business happens to make loss, it will pay 0.5% of the turnover as tax. And we started shouting, it's too much, it's too much. So because of the shouting, we shouted on 2019 Finance Act. They now came to 2020 Finance Act and reduced that minimum tax from 0.5% to 0.25%.
So can you shout against for it to be zero? Because I don't know, you're making losses as a company and the government, they want me to sniff my blood out, so I should cut my head off or what?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what I'm saying. So this is exactly one of the amendment of 2020 Finance, because in 2019, the Finance Act say minimum tax is 0.5% of the turnover. We now start shouting. So in 2020, they now reduce it. At least we're happy they had our voice.
They heard your voice.
From 0.5% to 0.25%. So another amendment in the Finance Act 2020 is that non-resident companies, that's companies that are not in Nigeria, are now obligated to file returns here.
What do you mean by returns? What's the difference?
The returns is...
That's VAT returns?
Giving information about their income, expenditure, and tax payment. That is returns. Because prior to the 2020 Finance Act, non-resident companies don't file returns. But because of these transfer prices and profit shifting mechanisms, Nigeria is following the global world to bring some laws into perspective. The non-resident companies are companies that are not in Nigeria, but they have business they are doing in Nigeria. They have Nigerian companies they are dealing with. So the law now requires they should file the returns here. They should file their account respect to Nigerian transaction and also file their account respect to their global transaction, including the Nigerian company that is representing them also file returns. It will make the Revenue Authority to look at the whole returns to see if there's anywhere they are losing taxes. So that's one of the aspects of the 2020 Finance. That's why I say Finance Act 2020 is for big companies, not even for small companies. Another one is Finance Act 2020 now excluded VAT from business and land activities, real estate business.
VAT.
Prior before the 2020 Finance Act, FRS, if you go and do rent, if you have a commercial property that paid rent, FRS will collect VAT on rent, classifying rent as part of VATable items.
How much was the rent? How much was the VAT they were collecting then?
Then it was 5%. But it was equally 7.5% now.
Yeah.
Had it been that it wasn't excluded.
But it's been excluded
Yes,
now.
yes. So if you are into real estate business, you are dealing on rent and all those lease properties, Finance Act 2020 has excluded your business from paying VAT.
So explain. Let's come down to the basics.
Yeah.
If I'm a landlord,
Yeah.
I own a property.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you're a landlord, you own a property.
And my property is commercial?
Commercial. Is your tenant that's supposed to pay the VAT because he's the one enjoying the service. Why you as a landlord you pay withholding tax of 10%?
So that is still payable now?
Yes, it's payable.
So what is excluded?
Is the VAT is excluded.
So the VAT that the tenants would not pay the VAT.
Exactly, that is what.
You know, this your industry is very
technical
and complicated.
Yeah,
That's why I want us to break it down.
Let me explain to you now. If I'm your tenant,
yes,
I have to pay you 1 million naira rent. I will deduct 10% of your rent money and pay to FRS. They pay to state internal revenue.
So you
service.
deduct 100,000.
Yes, if it's a company I'm dealing with, it's FRS. If it's an individual, it's the state internal revenue service. So I'll remove 10% of your own
of the
1
rent
million.
which I charge.
So yes, what I'm going to pay you now is 900,000. Then I use your TIN and pay 100,000, 10% to the relevant revenue authority. Now you come back to me as a landlord, say I have to charge VAT. You collect VAT from me and also pay. That's how it all works. But right now,
but you have to show me evidence that you've also done. That you've taken that 100,000 that you've remitted to FIRS. Is FIRS not supposed to give you something as a tenant?
I'm paying with your TIN. So when
okay,
I finish
so it will reflect.
Exactly, that is it. So the new finance, the 2020 finance has now excluded VAT for being paid under the rent properties because properties are not being classified based on the Finance Act definition as goods and services.
Even though it's commercial property?
Yeah, because let me tell you the truth. If you buy any property and suffer input VAT, FIRS will not allow you to use it to offset.
What's input VAT?
Input VAT is a VAT you suffer when you purchase something.
Okay.
If you buy a property and suffer an input VAT before, FIRS will not allow you to use that input VAT to offset your output VAT on sales. Yeah. Rather, they will tell you that that input VAT you have suffered in the property, you should capitalize it.
I think I'm in a tax class 545 because this one is more than 101. But let me try as much as possible to get you to break it. And that is why we're actually doing the show today.
Exactly.
You know, because a lot of people, it seems complicated, but it's understandable.
Exactly.
You know, so input and output VAT.
Yes.
I'm just saying because of our viewers, you know, and they can join the conversation actually. The number is on the screen shortly. But we'll begin to take your phone calls shortly. So, Dr. Kennedy, just continue with, you said earlier that small businesses don't have gain in the Finance Act 2020.
2020, they don't have much. The only thing
is so what's their gain? Their gain is that if their turnover is less than 25,
most of their gains has been established in 19.
In 2019?
Exactly.
Do they even know the 2019? So just run through, because we have a lot of small businesses in Nigeria that create 86% of employment and 96% of jobs. So that is where our interest should be. Not the Dangotes and the Coes and the big businesses. They understand this thing because they even have professionals working in their companies that understand this thing that's, you know, meander through all of this. Yeah. So what can small businesses gain? Because there are sometimes you even go to a small business. I've gone to like a spa before, for example, and after the service, I was asked to pay VAT. And I had to ask, I said, do you make 25 million? Yes, turnover that you are charging me 7.5%. Or wasn't I supposed to ask that question? So you see that there's even some small businesses that are charging, that their turnover is not up to 25 million, and they're still charging Nigerians for it.
Let me explain something. It's confusing for so many people, but I need to put it in the right perspective. Small businesses that has 25 million turnover below are not supposed to pay VAT, not supposed to pay company income tax, not supposed to pay education tax, not even supposed to file VAT returns.
Okay.
But that small business is supposed to file annual returns.
What's CAC?
No, both in CAC and FIRS. Even though your turnover is not up to 25 million or whatever, you have the obligation that at the end of the year, prepare your report and file. That you're exempted from paying that tax does not mean that you're exempted from filing your annual returns.
So
the revenue authority needed the information from your annual returns.
So what constitutes my annual returns?
Your annual returns include your financial report, your tax computation, and evidence of payment. And all the necessary information you have filled in the form, you submit it.
So who does that for me?
Your tax consultant, the auditor.
Or your accountant?
Yes, your tax consultant, the external auditor, your tax will do that for you. The essence of annual return is for the revenue authority to get information about the business transaction about the tax you have paid and all that. Not just about paying tax. They need the information about your business. Okay. So the small businesses of that nature don't have anything to pay, but they need to file the annual return.
Okay, Dr. Ewundu, just hold on. There's a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Dr. Kennedy, I will need you to put that stuff in your ear so that you can hear. It's just at your back.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right, what's your name and where are you calling from? Are you still there? Okay, please, you can call the numbers and I would appreciate that. Please don't flash us. Don't flash, don't flash. I would need you to call in to ask questions that bother you around what we're discussing this morning. I would appreciate that. And when you call, just go straight to your name, your where you're calling from, and your question all in 30 seconds because we have quite a lot to cover.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah,
It seems we missed that call.
Yeah, so now when your business grows beyond 25 million, but not up to 100 million, you now pay company income tax of 20%.
20%?
Yes, company income tax of 20%.
That's above 100 million.
Not above.
Between 25 and 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You pay company income tax of 20%, and also education tax of 2% of your adjusted profit. Now, when your business now grow from 100 million and above, you now go back and start paying company income tax of 30%.
Yeah.
And many companies, ignorantly, that has below 100 million turnover, this year filed and paid 30%. Out of negligence, or maybe their auditor did not remind them.
Oh, the auditor did not remind them, or the auditor
I could remember I filed a return for one of my clients that has about 90-something million, 92 million or so. So when I computed 20%, the tax authority said, I made the mistake. Why should I use 20%? I said, but that's what the tax authority said. Oh, they are forgotten. The
tax authority?
Yes, the person working on the file, they are forgotten. They almost forgot.
You can even forget because there's so many
that I should use 30%. But I now reminded that this turnover is not exactly. So it's a matter of consciousness in what we are doing. Now, the small businesses have obligation to file their returns. And let me tell you, filing of returns to FIRS mustn't be that you have made income or made profit. Even if you have made loss, file your returns. That's what the law requires.
What do you need to file those returns? I asked them.
What you need to file the returns.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning, and what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is I'm calling from Bagada in Lagos.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, so thank you for the resource person that information is given. I want to confirm if someone registered a company early 20 or late 2019, and then because of the crisis of COVID, the couldn't start it. So up to now that company has not started. What is the state in terms of tax-related issues?
Okay. Okay, I think we got that. Dr. Ewundu, did you get that?
Yeah.
He registered a company late 2019 because of COVID. He didn't do anything. What are the tax implications?
Yeah, he doesn't have any tax implication because the only thing he needs to do, he can file his return. That's all.
Annual return.
You can just get his auditor to file. If the company has not done anything, the auditor can file statement of affairs for him in the FIRS.
What document does this person need now to file that? Because he has to come to you
what
with
what he needs to do is to take his bank statement if he has.
The company's bank statement.
Yes, if he has it, if he actually has a bank account to his auditor, the auditor will look at it, and if he has done nothing, you produce a statement of affairs, attach all the information, and file to FIRS.
Okay.
And they can still give him tax line certificate. Yeah, FIRS give you, even when you have done nothing, FIRS will give you tax line certificate and give it nil.
That's 000.
You understand the point
Yes.
I'm making? So this is exactly what we are saying now. Now, in 2020 Finance Act, I want to say something for our viewers to learn now. In 2020 Finance Act, it was amended to say that if FIRS approaches you to produce your books and records, and if you refuse, there will be a first fine of 100,000 for the first month, and a subsequent 50,000 other subsequent months coming. So what we are saying is that the Finance Act and the FIRS Establishment Act has given them power to demand for your books and records. So it's necessary, it's very, very imperative for taxpayers, for companies, to make sure they keep adequate books and records, knowing that one day the Federal Revenue Service will be knocking at their door saying, let me check your books. Because failure to produce those books will attract penalty.
So what do you do to produce those books? Because a lot of our businesses do not have good record keeping. What do I need to do as a business to have good record keeping?
What you need to do, if you have a business that don't have a good record keeping, you hire the services of a consultant who will train a staff for you and show him how to keep books. He can also create an accounting system for you. There are so many accounting systems in the market, so that at the end of the day, all your inflows, all your outflows will be recorded and will be classified accordingly. If you buy assets, it will be classified an asset. If you purchase goods for sale, it will be classified as purchases. If there's income, classified as sales. If there's expenses, it will analyze and assign expenses. So at the end of the day, even you as a business owner can understand how your business is running. So many people don't even understand how their business is running, let alone FIRS coming to check their books. They know that this business is making profit, that I'm making money. So there's no need for me to put it in order. But you need an accounting system that periodically will give you a report. Like if I train an accountant.
Okay, sorry, Dr. Ewundu. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm James. I'm calling from Warri.
Okay. How is Warri today?
Warri is very fine.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with your question.
So, my friend wants to go into he's planning of starting a school. So this proposal, he's requiring input from us. So I just that does the times are very hard now. Does the school also pay a tax?
Okay, the schools pay tax. Of course, they will pay taxes, I guess. The schools pay taxes. Yes,
I'll explain.
Yes, okay. Thank you for your question. Yes, go ahead.
If you open a school, the school is exempted from VAT. Educational services are exempted from VAT. But if your school, after removing all their expenditures from the income and they make a profit, they'll pay income tax.
All the school fees they take from children and people.
That's what I'm saying. A school should have an income and expenditure account, or a profit and loss account, or whatever, or a statement of comprehensive income. In that statement of comprehensive income, to show all their streams of income and expenses. If there's a profit, they'll pay income tax. They're not excluded from paying income tax. If you register the school with a company, you pay company income tax. If you register the school with a business name, you pay personal income tax.
Oh. Okay, so how the schools...
Yeah, it all depends on what you want to register your school with.
Including universities, private universities.
Private universities, I don't think an UC will allow you to register any private university with a personal, with a business name. Most of those higher learning is incorporated trustees, and you understand the point I'm making. At that level, you are not expected to make a profit. At that level of having incorporated trustees, you're not expected to make a profit. But where it is determined that this incorporated trustee made a profit and declared that profit, the Revenue Authority will subject such profit to taxation.
Okay, let's talk about tax audit and investigation. You touched a bit on it.
Yes, of course.
I want you to expatiate more on it.
Yeah, a tax audit and investigation has become a tool used by the relevant revenue authorities to know whether the taxpayer is paying the accurate tax. Prior to this time, it's difficult for revenue authorities to audit you or investigate you. But something happened that they started, like in 2017, the Federal Revenue generated 213 billion from tax audit. And they were like, whoa, that means if we didn't do this tax audit, we would have generated this amount of money. So there's a need to go and start.
Okay. Hello, good morning. I can hear you over there. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You are on to the program.
I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, go ahead. What's your name? Oh, okay. The call has dropped. Please, if you want to get across to us, just lower the volume of your TV set, because I could hear us over there in your house or wherever you're watching. Okay. Doctor, I see that you're fiddling with this thing. Don't worry, we'll soon be done. So
okay. So the issue is that prior to this period, you can only be audited when there's a trigger.
What do you mean
in those
by
days, FIRS can hardly audit you. There must be a trigger. A trigger is that, for example, they discover that you declared a high profit last year and this year the profit is small, they start suspecting, are you sure this one is not playing? Or they discover that their turnover is declining. They say, okay, let's check their book to know really have a bad business. Or your bank charges in the account is higher in enough compared to your turnover. Are you getting the point I'm making? Or that you have so much assets, you are claiming capital allowance. They say, okay, let us look at the books. So something must have triggered tax audit or investigation before.
Okay.
Unlike now.
We have a call on the line.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Danjuma.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Danjuma Kofa.
Yeah.
From where, please?
From Abuja.
Okay.
Calling from Abuja.
Okay.
Please, I'm into a small business of buying and selling, like sales, and I want to start paying tax. I don't know how to go about it.
Sorry, I couldn't get your question. That you are into a small business. You want to do what?
I want to start paying my tax, and I don't know how to go about it.
Okay, you have to tell us how much that your business is making. If it's below 25 million naira, you will not pay VAT, withholding tax, education tax, and which other tax again?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the tax. So if it's below 25 million naira, you wouldn't pay any of those taxes. But if it's above,
Let me advise him. Let me advise him. If he wants to start paying his taxes, if he's trading with a limited liability company, he can walk up to any FIRS office. They will educate him.
Okay.
But if he's trading with a business name or with his name, he cannot walk to the FCT IRS. Those that have the responsibility to deal with personal income, that they will also educate him on how to go about it. He can also seek the advice or service of a consultant, a tax consultant, who will educate him how to go about it. That's all.
This tax consultant you're talking about, I know you are the vice chair of CITN. You're also, I think, the FCT tax chairman.
Yes.
What are you people doing as an association? This show, I'm doing it as CSR. What are you people doing as advocacy? Because a lot of people need knowledge. So what is your association doing in that regard?
The people
in terms of educating people, or you want people to have the problem, then they'll come to you and pay?
The people that have the resources to educate Nigerians is Federal Inland Revenue Service, not my association.
Okay, have you approached FIRS to help you guys?
Not FCT tax practitioners. FCT tax practitioners we are doing our bit. That's the time we did the tax payers education. We brought all our clients and we educated them. But we don't have resources to educate Nigerians. We can only educate the clients that comes to us. If you're a client who comes to my office, I educate you. But in order to get that education in a bigger platform, FIRS need to vote in a lot of money. If they want to have a synergy with us, FCT tax, they can partner with us and we can educate Nigerians. Let me tell you, most Nigerians are not paying taxes because they're ignorant of the tax laws. They are ignorant. They don't even know where to start. They don't even know what the taxes are all about. So FIRS has a big response, and they have the resources to put in money for taxpayers' education.
Okay, let's talk about this. I want to raise this issue about money inflows into your company's bank account, that you don't need to put funds meant for your personal, family, and friends into your company's account. Because when you do that, FIRS sees it as money that the company made. Can you expatiate on that? Because I think a lot of us are guilty.
A company, based on Companies and Allied Matters Act, a company is a person different from the directors. So when you have a company, see that company as a person different from you. You shouldn't be dealing with that company or transacting into the account of that company as if it's your personal account. If you have personal business, personal transaction, family business, friends business,
or someone giving me money.
Yes, do it in your personal account. Don't put it in your company's account, because definitely it will be misunderstood by the revenue authorities as an income. Then if you also have a loan coming into your account, you should have a loan agreement to prove that this is a loan.
Loan agreement with the bank or
with the person that gave the loan, exactly. And if possible, you also have a board resolution authorizing your company to collect a loan. A company should run corporately as...
What if my company is not making money and I, as the owner of the company, am loaning my company money? Yes. So from my own personal account to my company's account, what do I do? If
your company don't have money and you want to loan your company money, it's a simple thing. You call your board secretary, call other directors, and you have a board resolution that this company has no money. As a director, you want to loan him money. The board resolution will be raised. Then the next thing, you will pay the money into your company's account. So whenever the revenue authority comes and sees, it is clear that it's a director's deposit. And at any time we are taking the money, it should also be shown that directors are taking his money. And again, very importantly, once you put this money into your company's account, ensure that your auditor put such amount you have given as loan in the financial statement of your company as director's loan. So these are the things we need to do. Yes, because when
it's not taxable.
No, it's not taxable. When you're telling a revenue authority this is a loan, there is no loan agreement, there's no board resolution, and there is, even your financial report has nowhere it was recorded in the statement of financial position that there's a loan. It becomes a matter of doubt, and they begin to have problem with you.
So at what point do you differentiate your company as a limited liability company and as a business name in terms of paying taxes? If you have a business name, for example, that's a company that uses a business name, are you supposed, okay, if you pay taxes, those taxes, do they also admit you as a person? Okay, let me put it that way. Let me put it this way. Moneyline with Nancy Enterprises. And Moneyline with Nancy Enterprises pays taxes. Does it also mean that Nancy Naji has paid her personal income tax if Moneyline with Nancy Enterprises has paid?
Yes.
Yes, you understand what I mean?
Yes, I understand. A business name,
like a limited liability
your business
company.
name is something as you. Just like if I register Kennedy.
Okay, on Nancy Naji Enterprises, is that what it should be?
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't be Moneyline with Nancy Enterprises.
Okay. It can be Moneyline with Nancy, as far as it's enterprise, as far as it's not limited.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have your business name, like I can have Kennedy Wunda & Co. It's a business name. If Kennedy Wunda & Co. after the end of the year pays taxes, I have paid my taxes. There's no difference between me and Kennedy Wunda & Co.
That's my personal income tax.
Exactly, there's no difference. But if I have registered as Kennedy Wundu Limited, is a different person from me, and should be treated likewise. I don't know if you understand.
Yes, I get you. I get you. I needed to ask. We have a caller on the line. Good morning. I can hear myself. Oh, lower the volume of your TV set. Yes.
Nancy, I'm doing just that.
Okay.
Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. Your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Stanley. I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Nancy. I don't know. Are we commenting on the issue on taxes or any other financial subject, any other financial issue?
I don't understand your question.
Now, what I'm saying is the topic you are on with is about tax. Can somebody talk about other sectors that has to do with the economy?
No, today's focus is your Business and the Finance Act 2020, how businesses in Nigeria can take advantage of what is in the Finance Act 2020 and perhaps for small businesses in 2019 Finance Act. So that's what we're discussing today. So nothing else concerning the economy. That's the topic today.
Okay. Businesses and Finance Act. Yes. My own interest is on the loan that was disbursed through the ethnic loan that was disbursed through Master Microfinance. When some of those monies were released was...
Okay, hold on. I'm going to halt you there. You want to make us deviate. Perhaps I will tell you to keep watching, that we may do a topic like that, because that's not what we're discussing this morning. So I'm afraid and I'm sorry that we can't take that. But I know I've discussed this a couple of times. You can go on our YouTube channel and just search and you see some topics around what you want to ask. Thank you very much. I don't want us to deviate and we're pressed for time. Thank you. Or you send us a mail to ask your question and we'll reply. Thank you. Okay, just before we go.
Okay, so what I was saying before the callers were calling is that the Finance Act 2020 stipulates that the Revenue Authority has right to demand for your books and record, and failure is 100,000 for the first month and 50,000 subsequently. Now, there's need for businesses and companies to strengthen their books and records, get the right people that will give you the good records. Now, for example, FRS, if you say that your turnover in a year is 100 million, and you spent 90 million in all your costs, and you have a profit of 10 million, that's 10%. When they come to your door, they want to see evidences of all the 90 million you spent. Your inability to produce these documentary evidences of these 90 million you spent would make them to give you additional tax to pay, because they will say that, you didn't spend this amount, therefore we have to add back to you.
So I should always keep my books. If I go buy fuel, I should get receipts.
Exactly. And again, the taxpayers should also be honest
Okay.
to expose their transaction to the auditors.
Okay, I think we have another caller, and this might be the last caller. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abuja. My name is Mike.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Please, I want to ask your question.
Yes, go ahead,
Hello?
please. Yes, go
Go
ahead.
Please, I want to ask your guest, is it possible?
Oh, the line dropped. Is it possible? It's no longer possible. Network failed. Sorry, you can call us again. I don't know if we have the time, or if you can, send us an email with your question, and we'll definitely send it to Dr.
Yes.
Kennedy, or we'll answer it here for you on the show. Okay, so.
Thank you. So what I was trying to say is that taxpayers, companies, individuals should expose all their transactions to their auditors and tax consultants. Because something we observe is that sometimes some taxpayers will not expose the entire transaction to their auditors. And the auditors will report what he has seen. When you expose your whole transaction, he knows the loopholes in the tax law and how to cover you up. But if you have 10 bank statements and you print one, leaving 9, the revenue authorities, they have now a platform where they can view every bank statement of every company or individual.
So they will be in the office, FIRS and all the state IRS. You just be in your office and just, with a button, you can see
You can see the transaction. The best thing for a taxpayer is expose your tax consultant what you have done. So there are people you don't lie. Your doctor, your lawyer, and your auditor. You don't lie to them. You tell them exactly what it has happened. So they will take the pains to know how they can prepare your tax returns to make sure you don't run into troubles.
Okay, let's do a quick summary of what we've learned this week. Can you just, tax consultant to teach, in case I took that from you.
Yes.
Getting a tax consultant, like to keep your records.
Keep your records,
Yeah,
yes.
keep your records. What else?
Also, make sure that you have given the tax consultant enough information about your transaction. And also, where you are having problem in terms of filing returns, you can visit any of the relevant revenue authorities to ask for help. There's nothing wrong asking for help. Even when you get to some tax offices and ask for help that I really need to be educated, they can equally refer you to a tax consultant who can educate you on how to go about your taxes.
And lastly, be honest. Be honest as a company. Isn't it? That's what you said.
Yes, exactly.
Be honest to your auditor.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ewundo. I'm hoping we'll do this again sometime.
Yes.
I'm hoping we'll do this again sometime very soon.
Yes.
Because a lot of companies do not know some of these
Yeah,
things.
any company should endeavor to keep receipt of expenses, track record. Even if you go and buy fuel, get a receipt of the fuel you bought and keep. You use it to offset your tax liabilities. Thank you.
Those things. Anyway, another show. Thank you very much, for being on the show. I've been speaking with Dr. Kennedy Ewundo, who is the Vice Chair, CITN Abuja. He's also the Chair, FCT Tax Practitioners Association. We've been talking about Finance Act and how your businesses are impacted. I promise you we'll do this again sometime. Thank you all also to those that called in. I wish you all a great weekend. Let's try and be safe and secure, and let's pray for our dearly beloved country, because I think it's only prayer we have right now as our solution. I'll see you all again next week. Dancing Naji is my name. Bye now.